Welcome back to MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things magic. It is Sunday Fun Day here at MTG Burgeoning, and in today's video we are going to upgrade our Changeling pool. What's up, MTG BC, baby? That is the MTG Burgeoning community. Welcome back to Sunday is Fun Day. If you missed any of the previous installments of this current deck building series, I encourage you to click any of the links in the description below, including the tappedout.net page, which brings you to the entire deck list, which also includes the Changeling pool. The Changeling pool can be found under the maybe board of the deck list, and that is the portion of the deck to which we are focusing today. We are going to upgrade 8 of the Changeling cards from that Changeling pool. How our deck works is Morophon the Boundless, Sunday is Fun Day of course, is the general commander of an EDH deck that focuses on Changeling Tribal. There are 15 spots in the deck that are left blank, currently taken up by wastes at the tappedout.net page. So what we do is each time you sit down, you take out the wastes and you randomly pull 15 cards from the Changeling pool, or the maybe board if you're at the tappedout.net page. The purposes of doing that is because the Shapeshifters have Changeling and they're all creature types. No two games with this deck should be the same. So each time you pull out 15 random cards from the Changeling pool should give you a brand new experience with the exact same deck. With that in mind, here is what MTG Burgeoning offers by way of upgrading 8 of the Changeling representatives in our pool. And we're going to begin with Bishop of Wings. This is the angel, or let me reframe that. This was the angel representative of our Changeling pool. And whenever an angel ETB'd under our control, we gained 4 life. And whenever an angel we controlled died, we would create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. The life gain was okay. The spirit creature token proved to be decent as a way in which to chump block. But for a tribe as powerful and as legendary as Angels, for me, Bishop of Wings, underwhelming. So Bishop of Wings, you are out to be replaced by what may be the single greatest Angel commander ever created. Well, let's be honest, it's the only Angel Lord ever created, and that means Lyra Dawnbringer. 3 and double white. 5/5 angel. She has flying, first strike, and lifelink, and she gives other angels we control +1/+1 and lifelink. So as our angel representative to all of our shapeshifters with Changeling, they will be receiving +1/+1 and lifelink. I think that is much better than what Bishop of Wings offers. So we're going to give it a spin and see how much better Lyra can perform over the Bishop. All right, next up on the chopping block is Regal Caracal. 3 and 2 white. It gives other cats we control +1/+1 and lifelink. And when the Regal Caracal ETBs, we create 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. So for a mana value of 5, we're producing 7 total power and 7 total toughness stretched across 3 bodies, all of it with lifelink. So that, I'm sorry, well, Regal Caracal doesn't have lifelink, but the cat tokens do. So that is pretty, I mean, that's a pretty good creature all in one. We're investing 5 and we're getting 3 creatures and a cat lord that gives all of our shapeshifters with Changeling the boost of power and toughness and lifelink. So we're going to need something to... This is what we're going to do. I mean, we're looking at it from a way in which to strengthen the deck when the Changelings get pulled out of the Changeling pool. And how I think that happens is we keep the +1/+1, the power toughness boost. We shrink down the mana value. We shrink down the number of bodies, and we add some removal. So we go from Regal Caracal to be replaced by Feline Sovereign. 2 and a green, 2/3 versus 3 and 2 white on a 3/3, but it also gives the 2 tokens. Other cats we control get +1/+1 and have protection from dogs. The dog protection, that might be a niche protection. I mean, I don't know how often we're going to come across some dogs out there at the EDH table, but still, protection is protection. And whenever one or more cats we control, this is the part that makes, for me, Feline Sovereign a little bit more valuable overall to the deck itself than Regal Caracal. Whenever one or more cats we control deal combat damage to a player, destroy up to one target artifact or enchantment that player controls. This is going to help with the removal, which admittedly, because of the type of deck we're running, our removal is not as strong as it otherwise would be in a deck like this, because, you know, we're trying to go on a theme here with the Shapeshifters with Changeling, and because of that, we have to make sure that we have enough cards to meet the flavor and the demands for what we want to do, so we have to lighten up in some of the otherwise stronger areas that a deck would have, one of which being removal. So if we can replace the Regal Caracal with the Feline Sovereign, we still have the +1/+1 for our Shapeshifters with Changeling, but we also get the ability to destroy some artifacts and enchantments. So we're going to see how that works. Feline Sovereign in, Regal Caracal out. Next casualty is the Docent of Perfection, 3 and 2 blue for a 5/4 flying insect horror. And whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell, we put a 1/1 blue human wizard creature token onto the battlefield. Then, if we control 3 or more wizards, we transform Docent of Perfection. Docent of Perfection is the wizard representative, the wizard tribe representative, and when it transforms into Final Iteration, which is a 6/5 flyer, and then it gives wizards we control +2/+1 in flying. And whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell, we put a 1/1 blue human wizard creature token onto the battlefield. So let's review this real quick. We have an investment, let's try this again. We have an initial investment of 3 and 2 blue on this creature. Comes in as a 5/4 flyer, which is pretty strong. And we need to cast an instant or sorcery spell to give us the token creature. And once we have the token creature, then the Docent of Perfection will check to see if we have at least 3 wizards on the battlefield. And if we do, then we can transform this into Final Iteration. So we have a couple of steps to jump through before this can really end up helping out the team. I don't know if I want to be able to have to wait that long. So Docent of Perfection, for the time being, is going to take a back seat in order to bring in something that I think will help the deck overall when the wizard representative makes its way into the 99. That's going to be Sage of Fables. 2 and a blue for a Merfolk wizard. Each other wizard creature we control enters play with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. So whenever we cast a Shapeshifter with Changeling, I'm sorry, let me reframe that. Whenever a Shapeshifter with Changeling comes into play, it's going to get a +1/+1 counter. Then we can tap 2 and remove a +1/+1 counter from any of our creatures, and then we can draw a card. So overall, from a strength perspective, this makes the squad bigger, similar to what Docent of Perfection does, not to the exact same power level. However, we don't have to jump through as many hoops, plus the mana value is smaller, and the card draw is a big deal. Our ability to draw cards in our deck to keep gas in our hand was the fuel of the most recent revision that we did with this deck. So I think Sage of Fables replacing Docent of Perfection will help in the same way of keeping the squad strong, but also allowing us the ability to draw a card. So we got card draw, we got destruction, we got life gain, and all lords. So far, so good. All right, next replacement is the Cataran Enforcer is coming out. 3 and double black for a 4/3 with Fear. Tap 4, tap this, search our library for a mercenary card with converted mana cost 4 or less, and put that card into play. So for Cataran Enforcer coming out, we need a new mercenary representative, and that's going to be for 1 colorless mana more. Instead of it being 3 and 2 black, we're going to go 4 and 2 black. We're going to grab the Cataran Slaver, a 5/5 Swamp Walk where we can tap 5 and search our library for a mercenary card with converted mana cost 5 or less and put that card into play. I'm going to put it right out there and say it right away. For the 1 extra mana that allows us to search our library, as Kataran Enforcer is only 4, but Kataran Slaver is 5, that gives us more Reach of the Frost, and that gives us Cairn Wanderer. And those 2 Shapeshifters with Changeling are 2 of the best ones that we have. So upgrading from Kataran Enforcer to Kataran Slaver for the overall cost of 1 colorless mana makes the body bigger and gives it Swamp Walk, which means if you're playing with a swamp, you're not blocking this at all. Kataran Enforcer having Fear, you could have an artifact creature, you could have a black creature, but if you've got a swamp, you're not blocking this 5/5. I think Kataran Slaver is going to be a much better creature than Kataran Enforcer. All right, change number 5. This one, just bear with me. Let me do my explanation before you light me up in the comment section. Coming out, the Utvara Hellkite. This is the dragon representative in our Changeling pool. 6 and double red for a 6/6 flyer. Whenever a dragon we control attacks, we create a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying. Okay, the Utvara is going to come out, and I'll explain why after I explain who its replacement is. With the Utvara Hellkite coming out, going in its place is going to be Lothless, the Dragon Queen. For 4 and 2 red, we get a 6/6 flyer. Okay, so this is already converted mana cost 2 colorless less. Whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under our control, we create a 5/5 red dragon creature token with flying. Additionally, for every 1 in red we tap, dragons we control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So now let's explain why Lothless is going to work better in our Changeling pool than the Utvara Hellkite. From play testing and gameplay with the Utvara Hellkite, we have to send our Changelings into combat. More often than not, our Changelings are not always well equipped to survive combat just for the purposes of sending them in, which we need to do to trigger the Utvara Hellkite. Now, yes, trading the life of a Changeling for a 6/6 dragon is trading up in the purposes of, basic Magic 101. However, for the purposes of a deck that's focused on the flavor and theme of Shapeshifters with Changeling, we kind of want our Shapeshifters to do a little bit more than just being sacrificial lambs to an Utvara Hellkite. So why is Lothless better? Because Lothless can sit onto the battlefield, and whenever one of our Shapeshifters with Changeling comes into play, then we create the 5/5 red dragon creature token, and then we can send the dragon creature tokens into battle. They have evasion, they're flying, and additionally, the 1 in a red to pump all of our dragons, which, let's be honest, it also pumps our Shapeshifters with Changeling. Lothless, we can get more out of for longer stretches of the game than we can with the Utvara Hellkite. I'm just going to put that out there. I have already thought about this. It has not been play tested yet with the deck. We will work that into the playing and the gameplay when revisions are made, but I do stand by my theory that Lothless is going to get more out of her than the Utvara Hellkite will. We'll just put that one out there. To be determined. All right, next one coming out is the Elf representative. Elvish Archdruid is coming out. 1 and 2 green gives other elves +1/+1. Tap to turn it sideways to give us a green mana for each elf we control. Running a 5-color deck, so oodles of green mana, not that we were ever able to generate elf-like oodles of green mana, it's not as beneficial as one might think. So Elvish of Archdruid was just kind of meh during the times that we were game playing with him. I think its replacement will do a lot more for us over the life of this deck, and replacing the Elvish Archdruid is going to be a Zuri Renegade Leader. Same mana value of 1 and 2 green, same body with a 2/2. It does not act as a lord. However, we can tap a green to regenerate another target elf, which means we can tap a green to regenerate one of our Shapeshifters with Changeling. Regeneration should be more popular. We have some other ways in which to regenerate cards or regenerate creatures in our deck, like with Swarmyard, but Azuri is going to help with that. Additionally, 2 and triple green, elf creatures we control will get +3/+3 and gain trample until end of turn. So our shapeshifters with Changeling, and our elves, of course, are all going to benefit from an overrun ability that's stapled onto the body of a Zuri Renegade leader. I think for the purposes of gameplay, Azuri will offer more to our squad than the Elvish Archdruid. So that's why Elvish Archdruid's going out and Azuri's coming in. All right, 2 replacements left, and they are biggins, folks. They are biggins. The first one coming out is going to be Drogskull Captain. This is the spirit representative of the squad. It gives other spirits we control +1/+1 and hexproof. The Drogskull Captain is a 2/2 flyer in and of itself, so this is a pretty decent lord. I mean, we do have, excuse me, we do have other lords in the Changeling pool that offer protection, and of course many that offer the +1/+1. So let's see what's going to replace Drogskull Captain, because I thought that the Drogskull Captain was going to remain the spirit representative for quite some time. Well, that was until this dwarf cleric decided to show up from Strixhaven. Hoffrey Ghostforge. 3 red and a white on a 4/5 body. Spirits we control get +1/+1 and have trample and haste. Okay, that to me, the +1/+1 trample haste, I think that kind of edges it on a value perspective far past +1/+1 and hexproof. I think I would rather have the +1/+1 trample and haste. Whenever another non-token creature we control dies, we exile it. And if we do, we create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a spirit in addition to its other types, and it has, when this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exile card to your graveyard. So not only does Hoffrey act as a lord that provides a couple of very valuable keywords, Hoffrey also replaces a creature when it dies by putting a spirit into play, which instantly gets +1/+1, has trample and haste, and it's a copy of the creature that died. Hoffrey, he just engulfs value away from Drogskull Captain, and I have no reservations that that's going to be a superior inclusion in the Changeling pool over the Drogskull Captain. All right, Changeling upgrade number 8 and the final one for today's video, and that's going to come in the form of Regisaur Alpha. 3 red and a green on a 4/4 body. Other dinosaurs we control have haste, and when Regisaur Alpha enters the battlefield, we create a 3/3 green dinosaur creature token with trample. So this gives our other shapeshifters with Changeling haste, and that's it. That's all Regisaur Alpha is doing for our squad. Yes, it gives us another dino that has haste and trample, but for the purposes of our shapeshifters with Changeling, all of this Regisaur Alpha is doing is giving them haste. So that's out to be replaced by an Ixalan baddie, the ultimate dinosaur avatar, Gishath. Gishath, Sun's avatar, is going in to be the dinosaur representative in our Changeling pool. 5, a red, a green, and a white, on a 7/6 trampling, vigilant, hasty body that reads, whenever Gishath, Sun's avatar, deals combat damage to a player, reveal that many cards from the top of our library. Put any number of dinosaur creature cards, for all intents and purposes, that should read Shapeshifters with Changeling, from among them onto the battlefield and put those creature cards from among them onto the battlefield, and the rest on the bottom of our library in a random order. So as long as Gishath is coming down and doing some combat damage, we are getting more Changelings into play. Trample, Vigilance, Haste, and plus the cards that aren't shapeshifters with Changeling or aren't dinosaurs, they're not going to the graveyard. They're going back to the bottom of our library in a random order, so we don't lose out on utilizing those cards later in the game. Gishath is going to come in and hopefully attack the turn it comes in, get some damage in. Maybe we got some more lords in play. Maybe we have our Maskwood Nexus in play. Either way, we're going to get some damage done from Gishath, reveal some cards, get some more changing in the play, make the squad bigger and badder, and Gishath is going to be a big part of that. All right, MTG BC. Let me know what you think of these changes in the comments section below. Did we overreach with a few of them? Is Lothless truly a better upgrade than the Vara Hellkite? Is Sage of Fables really better than Docent of Protection? You tell me. This is MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things magic.